I wanted so badly just to end my life and to be done. And what I found was that I took all that with me, and it was multiplied, just intensified beyond anything that we even have the power of understanding in this life.
Angie then felt herself descending into another plane of existence where she became aware of other disembodied spirits who had chosen the path of self-destruction.
And they were empty and wandering around and squatting, some of them, but they were all kind of mumbling to themselves, completely self-absorbed, caring nothing about anybody else there or about anything but themselves.
It's not only the incredible heroic feats we publicly celebrate that elevates mankind. It's also the everyday, silent strength within us all that presses us forward and sustains us, step by step. There is, after all, no such thing as a small hero.
My experience was completely different than anything I'd ever heard about. I had a concept of hell, but this was nothing like what I was anticipating at all.
Richard, keep my wedding rings and tell Alex and Jacob how much I loved them, and that this is not their fault. I can't do this anymore. I love you. Please understand. I just can't do this anymore.
Suicide. The final act of those who feel life's problems are so overwhelming that the only way they can cope is by ceasing to cope entirely. Angie Fenimore was such a person. But during her suicide attempt, Angie discovered the turmoil she was facing in this life was nothing compared to that which awaited her in the afterlife.
Hell is a matter of suffering, and I was in hell long before I took my life. Where I went was just a manifestation of what I was already experiencing. I wanted so badly just to end my life and to be done, and what I found was that I took all that with me, and it was multiplied, just intensified beyond anything that we even have the power of understanding in this life. And so it was absolutely the worst thing I could do. There was no escape.
Angie was the product of a dysfunctional home. Her mother left early on, and Angie assumed the responsibility of taking care of her younger sister and her father, an alcoholic. The young girl carried out her new role as best she could, but the situation began to deteriorate, and eventually Angie became a victim of psychological abuse, sexual abuse, and was consumed with feelings of utter worthlessness. At 19, Angie attempted to neutralize her ongoing mental anguish by getting married and having children. But she soon realized that having a family of her own would not free her from her secret misery.
I had fought depression for years, and feelings of self-loathing that went along with how I'd been raised, and I felt like I was a horrible mother. I felt like I was dooming my children to a horrible existence, and I felt like I was actually going to be doing my family a favor by leaving them.
Initially, Angie thought death would take her to a better place, an idea which had been confirmed by her stepmother.
She had gone up to the corner of the room and seen her body when she had suffered a car accident. She had talked